Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Except the blood of the poor and the way they mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white supremacist.
This week in Caucasity.
Oh, man. So welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. We are back to our normal, setup. You know, our regular setup. Shout out to your mom's house studios. And we are back,
and annoyed.
Back and annoyed?
Back and annoyed.
We are.
Astaghfirullah.
How annoyed are you, though?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Are you so annoyed that you might walk up and smack somebody in their face? Are you that annoyed?
I mean, like, hire a Nigerian to do it for me? I don't know. Too soon?
But our brother is free, so we don't know how that goes down.
Yes. So are his enemies the whole country of Nigeria at this point? Like, I don't know.
No, man. You know what I'm saying?
Is it all of Chicago?
It's just all the fake people.
It's those white men who showed up outside of that subway
allegedly
at 2 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Those are his enemies, and put the
shouldn't Subway be everybody's enemy?
Absolutely.
I mean, shouldn't we just all kind of galvanize
Subway
behind?
Is horrible.
So
let me introduce. I'm Jasiri. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media, and to my immediate rights.
Yes, it's your girl Miracle here.
Smelling like a vacation.
Hey, don't put people in my business.
Hey, I'm just saying, you smell great, you look great, you feel great, your skin is glowing.
Oh, thank you. Give me all the love.
Nails are shining.
Come on, flex for the camera. Come on, show us the. Come on.
But yeah, it's your girl here, just chilling, turning up, ready to bully.
Yes.
Ready to prove that my title was correct.
Yes.
That people's behaviors.
There's a lot of light-skinned people that deserve to be bullied today.
Or what I was responding to, but I'm gonna give it to my good brother in the yellow.
I feel like you should be wrapping your hands like a fighter, right? Taping the hands.
I got you. I'll tape them up for you.
A lot of light-skinned folks to be bullied. My brother.
It is your boy Trouble NLS. Never liked supremacy.
Yes.
Nature loves shy.
Yes.
Just here to bring the Gen Z perspective to the table.
No light skins.
I fuck with light skins.
He dates a light skin.
Exactly. So I can't rock with that one.
Oh man.
Oh, and I don't know. Are you one of the representatives? I know I am. Are you,
I guess
one of the representatives of the light skin community.
Not only the client, I'm the light skin president. Yeah, man, revolutionary but gorgeous one. Extremely light skinned, depending on the time of year.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The one who can allegedly co-opt in and out of blackness.
Woo.
Yeah. So.
The one who has to show both parents.
Oh,
the both parent list.
That's such light skin behavior. Here
we go, man.
Well, speaking of light skin, now
the gatekeeper of all things nigga is Miracle Jones.
Listen, first of all, black
niggas in Paris.
Niggas.
Me go on one little trip, hop on one little airline, get on one little airplane, and people act like you're brand new. It's okay.
Man.
It's
okay.
So
maybe this is. I don't know if we would consider Will Smith light skinned.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe pre-slap Will was light skinned. Maybe post
Fresh Prince was definitely light skinned. Oscar Will, that nigga like Samuel Jackson to white people.
But that slap made him like a couple shades darker.
Man, that slap turned Will into public edit. Like
I'm telling you.
Oh my day.
Well, so that means he slapped the black off Chris Rock and
onto him. So,
and this is Chris Rock who told the joke, I'll kick a cracker in the crack of a cracker ass. Like, that's how white folks forgot about that and rallied to his defense.
They
Just imagine that narrative. Like,
Chris
the
Rock
Fresh Prince got white people shook.
Yes. Yes.
The Fresh Prince.
Yes.
He got
Not-
one
not
little
so
fight.
much.
Wait. So does this mean that y'all were wrong for bullying Will when he won his Grammy and saying he wasn't hip hop and he wasn't rap?
I always
He
saw Will
wasn't
Smith
real?
say that. Who
Y'all
said
were
that?
bullying Will.
no,
y'all
no.
were bullying Will.
I don't think I was
He
old
wasn't-
enough.
I think,
that's not an excuse, Trevor.
Will Smith won the first Grammy
It's a
for hip hop.
collective. It's a
Yeah, he
collective.
won the
Yes.
first Grammy for hip hop.
So
The
I
very
just-
first one.
Yeah, the
That
very
is
first
kind of
No.
whack.
So like, has he earned his stripes now?
Man, he's West Philly Willie.
I will go to and I'm trying to find my this tweet that I shared that I thought was profound, where it talked about Will Smith getting in. Well, it said Will Smith becoming a supervillain overnight
I'm a supervillain.
after a 30-year flawless record is a reminder that all that respectability tap dancing won't save you when they decide that you're no longer one of the good ones. So yeah, I think Will was and has done some respectability tap dancing. Obviously,
He did the defund the police shit, right? He was like, it's a whack slogan.
I mean, right. I mean,
He said it was a whack branding. Yeah.
You know, Will has been a mainstream dude, but now he got a 10-year ban. They came out, they said, he didn't have to give the Oscar back, but he got a 10-year ban. And of course, black people came out and was like, damn, Frederick Joseph said the 10-year ban they gave Will Smith feels very make a lesson of this black person. How do you all feel about the Oscars giving Will a 10-year ban?
I do think a 10-year ban is a little bit extreme. Like, I could see suspending him from the next Oscar, but
Right.
Years,
Yeah, 10 years
That's
is-
a little extreme.
That's like,
but
nigga,
you're still
we never
nominating
wanna see you
sex
again.
offenders and shit.
Well, I mean, that was part of what people brought up, right? That it took 40 years for you to get Roman Polanski out of there, who they gave an Oscar, gave a standing ovation to. Ain't nobody said nothing to Mel Gibson. I mean, Mel Gibson's on record saying mad anti-Semitic stuff, mad anti-black stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mel is still allowed at the Oscars. Mel is still, nobody questioned him. And so people have said this. Miracle, what's your take on this? As a lawyer, how would you defend?
I think it's hilarious for me. I want to know what they're going to do next year when they do the Best Actress category, because usually, I want to know who's going to, if they have
Jada,
Chris Rock
maybe?
back.
They probly will have Chris Rock.
They
Yes.
probably will have Chris Rock back.
That would
And I wonder,
that's going to be amazing television.
And no, somebody said what they need to do is a boycott the Oscars event.
Yeah.
And Will needs to host.
Somebody said a harsher punishment would have been a mandatory attendance for 10 years.
That's true. But I think it goes to show how quick the Oscars can actually in the Academy make changes when they want to. When it's producers out here using the casting couch, when it's all this other stuff, when you're not paying people, when you're doing all this stuff to avoid unionizing, when somehow you can't get black and brown people in your academy so we can have correct makeup and correct hair.
Right.
It's too slow. It's just too many rules. But it's when you gotta kick the Negro out, you can do stuff within days. It's kind of funny to me.
Say that.
But it's the Oscars.
Yeah.
He already said he was gonna resign. So basically, they already just banned him from places he said he wasn't showing up to begin with. So it's he got his award. He can move on. He can celebrate. He turns up. He partied.
Yeah.
And I'm ready I want him to play a villain.
Yeah.
In his
that would
next
be,
role.
that would be
I'm
dope.
ready for him to be all the way to the dark side.
That would be dope.
Will
Because he's
Smith.
never done that.
No,
has he?
not
He's
really.
never.
I think the closest would be Hancock.
Nah, he was the.
You think he was a
He's
villain?
still-
Nah,
in
he
it?
Well,
was
no,
he was the superhero that won the day at the end of the movie.
Well, that's why I
so-
said the closest.
Yeah, very,
would be
yeah,
Hancock.
He was a little
yeah,
drunk
yeah.
at the beginning.
Or
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Deadshot and Suicide Squad.
Nah, still the hero.
Anti-hero,
bro.
yeah, like
still
anti-hero. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Will
But
Smith has
the-
never played a bad guy.
a bad guy. That would be dope.
Bad man.
Yes, that would be
Yeah.
dope. Like a training day
I'm
type
a
of thing.
bad man.
Yeah. That would be dope. Farouk, man, what do you think about 10 years? And it's interesting. One of the comments was they felt like Will Smith got punished more than people at the January 6th riot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how do how do you feel about Will's 10 years?
There's definitely, and I didn't give much thought into it until now, but there's definitely a 10 years of slave joke in here someplace waiting to be made. I just need someone that's I need good writers right now. That's what I need. I need saved by writing. But I mean, 10 years, okay, he still can get awards.
Yes, he still can get nominated.
Like he
he still can win.
And that's a win. We were talking about that last week. That's a win-win. I would love to get an award for someplace I don't have to show up.
Yes,
like that makes me happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like I hate going places anyway.
Well, I wanted to be there. I wish I could be there with you,
but I'm not.
The Academy banned me.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll still take this.
Yeah. Well, apparently, the ban wasn't enough for some.
Oh man!
And by some, I meant
a light skin.
You know, a brother is like a sellout when his hairline ain't shaped up. You know?
Oh man! Come on!
We're getting so much trouble.
He's like, yo, go to the barbershop. So
did you ever see that meme? It was like you could tell he white if his hairline looked like, or he date white women if his hairline looked like this.
I didn't see that, but I know that hair. I just looked at Harry Lennix and was like, bro, this
who? You mean Harry Lemieux?
I called him Harry Lemieux, bro. But he has Harry. So Harry Lennix is a member of the Motion Picture Academy. For those that don't know, Harry Lennix has been in Billions, Insecure, The Blacklist, 24, as well as
he's always been casted as a perennial hating ass nigga,
bro. And he obviously was playing
himself.
He wasn't acting. He wasn't acting.
That's why he's so good.
That's what. So Harry, this is your inspiration. We just need you to hate on these. Say less. I got it. Hate these niggas. I got it. I do that every day.
I doubt anybody even asked him to write this article, but he wrote an op-ed for the Variety that says Will Smith must return his Oscar to restore the award's honor. That the award now, because Will Smith had it and, smacked Chris Rock and then won it, has, it's tarnished now. And so in order to restore the honor of the Oscar, that Will Smith must give his award back.
Do your dramatic read.
This attempt to explain his actions added to the travesty of this ethical catastrophe. Not only is he shitting on him, but he rapping.
That's a T.I.
In couching his acceptance speech as somehow submitting, look at the alliteration there, to the will of God, Smith abdicated personal accountability. When did Will Smith become Christ and Satan at the same time?
Bro, listen, Smith's brutality
stripped the entire
This nigga
evening.
Can't be from Chicago.
Hold on.
He says he's from the south side of Chicago. You can't be from Chicago, man.
Smith's brutality stripped the entire evening of its prestige.
This nigga's brutishness. What the
His big black banana peeling hand.
Oh, damn.
We're never getting invited anywhere.
And this is a black man, the quote unquote, right?
He's light skinned.
This is a quote unquote black man.
This is right. I get it now, Miracle. I get it.
What the
Miracle, I'm sorry, Miracle.
On behalf of all light skinned people, we apologize.
I grew up in violence, so maybe my sensitivity is a little bit
This
off,
dude
right?
said he's from the south side of Chicago.
But but I'm saying when I worked as a secretary, my white boss threw and broke a computer when he got into an argument. When I was at a federal internship, my white boss slammed the desk and everything off of the desk at work. So I have watched people act a fool at work and in places where you're not supposed to and on camera. And no one did this.
Right.
Like after we were like, okay, we got to clean this up and continue working. It was no outrage. So to me, to watch people literally talking about, oh my God, we have to do all of this stuff to show white people we're not violent is hilarious to me, because I have literally watched people act a fool at work and nothing has happened. And so to me, and again, I may be in a place where I'm not shocked that somebody got slapped. To me, it's like if he would have knocked him out and had a full on brawl, maybe I would understand a 10-year ban. But to me, it was a slap. He's going to get, he's already been disinvited. He's already resigned. Everybody's in therapy, all this type of stuff. Chris is making double the amount of money he was going to make for this year at all. Even here in Pittsburgh, he added an extra show. His whole tour, made all his money back and then some.
Absolutely.
Everybody is walking away from this good. I don't understand the pushback.
According to Harry, he said a grave moral failure.
But not the failing
occurred.
to pay your acts appropriately, not the stealing of people's ideas, not letting foreign films actually compete. That's not.
Not only that, Miracle, but guess who Harry Lennix defended?
Who?
A man named Josh Whedon.
Who did what Josh do?
Oh, Josh
Whedon had
mad, accusations.
On the set of the Justice League, racism.
Racism. He cut the black dude, the brother.
The brother who played Cyborg.
What was his name? Ray something.
Ray. I know it's not Ray
Yeah, the
Park.
brother who played Cyborg in Justice League cut his part up, and that actor really accused Joss Whedon of racism. The woman that plays Wonder Woman accused him. Ray Fisher. The woman who plays Wonder Woman accused him of
misogyny and everything.
Misogyny, disrespect. So he defended that man. Like, that was cool. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like when you're on the set and you want to disrespect people on the set in a work environment. He wasn't calling anything some type of grave, trouble.
So my first reaction was, where is the op-ed about the loss of honor in the community when they tarnish the prestige of the badge by, incarcerating us for stupid shit,
right?
Killing us.
Yes.
They pull their guns out and kill us.
Yes.
But we don't see an op-ed about that.
No.
Will Smith smacks a nigga on live television, and all of a sudden, he's worse than any cop.
And honor to God.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know, bro. I feel like this whole situation has given corny niggas such a high horse. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Like, these corny niggas are equestrians
Open up
now.
the gates and the corny niggas in the door now.
Yeah.
The incels, everybody.
Oh,
bro. Like,
my God.
I mean, I'm to be honest with you, I'm tired of talking about it.
I feel that.
Like, it's been 3 weeks at this point.
And this is, well, let me just share one more thing. And this is, he says that this is what he says, Will Smith. He says Smith needs to express mail his golden trophy back to the Academy.
Oh, wow.
And publicly state something to the effect of, quote, out of respect for the 94 years of honor conferred upon this award, I do not in good conscience feel worthy of being its custodian. So just like you said, now you back.
You better behold all this white supremacy. You better love this white supremacy.
I think you should start when Sidney Poitier won, not in the whole 94 years.
Come on.
Right. But I mean, right. So it does, despite, all these other, and like you said, if he even maybe said, the Oscar has this history with Hattie McDaniels. We talked about it with Roman Polanski, with John Wayne, with Harvey Weinstein, but he didn't even mention none of that.
Nah.
This was all about, I guess, would it be considered light skin on light skin crime, or
I don't know what you.
Maybe he feels like Will embarrass the light skin or make it harder for light skinned black men like him to get. But because Carrie, you're not getting none of these roles. All right. Nobody is going to tune in to Bad Boys 4 with Martin Lawrence and Harry Lennix, my nigga. Like, you're not getting... Why are you caping?
I wonder if he's ever tried to play, audition for, Malcolm or Martin.
He did. He wanted to play Ali.
60s movie.
He wanted to play Ali.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And was probably mad Will Smith. That's probably what it is, man. That's probably what it is. Hey,
Jealousy.
bro, you'll never have that career, Harry. You're not going to be on that stage. They're not going to award you none of this, bro.
He's waiting for the next time you come to Chicago. He's going to pull up on you.
Hey, I will put you in the headlock and take you to the nearest barbershop, my nigga. Shake this man up. If a slap scares you, what am I going to be afraid of? God damn. He probably won't even go to Chicago.
Man.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, Harry, pull up, Harry. You know what I'm saying?
He's staying in Portland from now on, man.
So, speaking of light-skinned black men.
Oh, here we go. Who
deserve bullying.
Without fathers.
The ones with or without fathers.
Right. And there was a lot of talk about Will and his dad. So maybe it was the lack of Will's father in his life that led him to this brutality. He called it brutality.
I'm just trying to picture, when he was writing that, what it looked like in his head when he was playing this moment back. You know what I mean? Did
claps and gunshots.
And man. In his mind, Will Smith turned into 50 Cent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just slapped Chris Rock, but he was playing Pookie from New Jack City. So it was just this. I don't even know.
He probably saw Thanos.
He probably did see Thanos, bro. Infinity Gauntlet slap. Pow.
Well, so when we talked about, I guess to move on to our next light-skinned, it's a lot of, I don't know if we call
should
them
just leave
Cruises.
the show today, man.
Hey,
you know how that church was
you should
fasting from whiteness? We should fast from light-skinnedness. That's gonna be our Ramadan.
Due to Harry Lennix and Tony Dungee, we will no longer be.
We're not light skinned this month. We're just gonna be quiet. We're gonna take a vow of silence.
So apparently Tony Dungee was in Florida with the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
And Ron is a known, racist. I would say, came out against critical race theory. Doesn't want it in his state. He doesn't like gay people, LGBTQIA, trans folks. They have the Don't Say Gay bill. Ron's down there. It's almost like he's like, what other controversy can I stir up? Or happen so I could maybe run against Trump for president of the United States. But Tony was down there because Ron DeSantis is giving $70 million to fatherhood programs. He wants to promote fatherhood. And according to Tony Dungee, he says, how do young boys 19, 20, 21 get into prison? It's not socioeconomic, Miracle.
95% of them too.
But where
it's
are
not
their
racial.
fathers?
It's not racial, Miracle. It's not education, Trouble. None of that. 95% of these boys did not grow up with their dad. That's the problem.
And where were their fathers, Tony?
Come on.
Obviously, they weren't dealing with any socioeconomic or racial conditions.
They weren't being arrested, given mandatory minimums. They weren't being racially profiled.
No,
Tony.
of course not.
No.
Shot by police,
No.
mass incarcerated. None of that, man. That would make it socioeconomic, right? That's the problem. So I don't know. And obviously, nobody asked him, but this is kind of to bring up another light skin, this was one of the main talking points of our former light skinned president, right? Whenever he would come, and specifically when he would speak to
Barack was
black
light-skinned?
audience, I don't know. I mean,
He's biracial.
maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Miracle.
Biracial.
Is he?
Miracle. When you bullied Barack Obama, was it because?
Yeah.
It was not because he was biracial. It was because he was bombing people and putting people in prison.
But this is kind of a thing, right? That if the fathers were there,
Yeah.
right? Just like you said, not taking into account like that it's oftentimes because of socioeconomic and systemic racial conditions, conditions in the education system are the reason why fathers aren't there. But it's like this idea that, one guy called it like the magical Negro, like that if the fathers were there, like all of a sudden, like none of the problems that exist for black people in America, they would automatically vanish because now fathers are here, let alone like in 60% of households, fathers are there, and black fathers by all percentage and all studies are actually more involved in their child's life than any other race of fathers. That's never part of the conversation. So Tony Dungee, did you want to start? Did you want to bully this man?
Yeah, because I should do a quick little Google search, but it says there's over 300,000 children in Florida whose parent is incarcerated in prison or jail. So first of all, if you want to make sure that fathers are in the home, maybe get them out of prisons and jails.
Come on.
Tony.
Yes.
This idea of respectability politics is very problematic because it really is reinforcing that there's something inherently wrong with black people. And there are some black people who say, racism doesn't exist. It's this personal choice and this personal behaviors that black people engage with that put them in the situation that they're in, not the conditions that they live in. And Tony has always been one of these people. He's taken on this fatherly role.
Right.
But he's also super Christian, and it's not to be like anti-Christian, but it's this idea that people use Christianity and these faith-based initiatives to partner with government agencies to really reinforce that there is something inherently wrong with black people. There's nothing wrong with the fatherhood initiatives, right? There's nothing wrong with helping fathers and their children bond. There's nothing wrong with keeping fathers around and teaching people anger management and communication skills. Nothing wrong with that at all. But it's just the idea that when he does this press conference, he's like, racism doesn't exist.
Right.
These socioeconomic conditions doesn't, all these things don't exist. It's just that there's not a father. And I'm going to, no.
Right. And it takes like all the responsibility away from like to white people, right? All the responsibility away from like systemic racism, from somebody like Ron DeSantis, who as governor could actually create policies to make it easier for people to get jobs, to make it easier for schools to have resources in poor communities, to make it easy. He can actually break down these economic conditions, but it's like, no, it's not white people's fault. It's not systemic racism fault, right? Oh, the problem is black people are the problem. And the problem is y'all out here just want to make babies. Y'all don't want to take care of your families. And so therefore it's all on you and nothing, like white people don't have to do anything. We don't have to teach history. We don't have to do none of that.
it's not even about white people. It's like we go to the first episode. It depends on what type of black friend you have.
Right.
Because literally the first thing Ron did when he got elected was basically put a poll tax on the election and make sure that people, mostly black people, could not have the right to vote without paying these fees and fines.
Right.
And if Tony was actually there, he could say, you know what, Ron, I'm seeing that all these kids don't have fathers, allegedly. That's not what the facts say. But, you know, let's go and let's fix this. Where are these men? What jobs do they not have? What education do they not have? What policies are preventing people from getting to school? Oh, what's the drug laws? Drug laws don't let people go to college. Drug laws don't let people get scholarships. Yeah. Drug laws don't let people get financial aid. Let's change that. Let's help go and invest. Collateral consequences mean that these black men can't even be barbers. Let's go and change that. Let's go get this. He didn't do that. He's just like, we're gonna get these fathers in the home because that's what God said. It's like, come on, bro. Just do a little bit more. You're at the door. Just unlock it, open it, walk in, and just do a little bit more.
Yeah. Farouk, Treble, what do y'all think about 95% of the people incarcerated just didn't
Which is
have
not
that?
a true stat. I just want people
No,
to
that
understand that. That stat is
is
not correct.
I guess
Super
I'm in that
false.
5% because like my dad was around and I got locked up.
I mean, yeah, bro.
So you know what I mean?
So
Like,
what was your problem?
what Jada say? My mom and my pops really did a good job, but it was the Montega and the cane that built me. And those two. I had a problem with those two. Allegedly.
So Farouk, anything else? That was just your thing. You're one of
No,
the...
I mean, it's, Tony Dungee has always done these respectability politics in the NFL, man. Like, he's had this Uncle Tony, Uncle Tom thing. Right. It's, Tony Dungee is trying to, he's Harry, he's Harry Lennix.
Yeah.
He's really, I think that in 2022, the fact that we haven't moved past this respectability politics shit yet, right? It just shows that some of these black people in our community have more investments in white supremacy than they do actually changing the community. Yeah. Because like Miracle said, there's nothing wrong with doing, having a $70 million initiative to improve fatherhood literacy, right? Let's just call it that. Father, because you were a teen parent advocate.
I was, yeah.
Right? There's nothing wrong with pouring money into those programs. But to fault black people at the beginning of them, say, I'm gonna give you this money because you don't know no better. Right. That's the issue.
And just being a teen parent advocate, and basically what I did was I did counseling and case management for teen fathers of Pittsburgh Public Schools. 99% of the dads wanted to be involved in their children's lives, were involved in their children's lives, wanted ways and resources to help even more. And so like that idea that like, it was just a bunch of dudes that was impregnating women and running away responsibility. I didn't see that personally. I also thought it was interesting, and Miracle put up a great point. This is the same governor that fought against having formerly incarcerated people have the right to vote, right? It was folks like Desmond Meade and organizers in Florida that had to fight to get, formerly incarcerated folks even the right to vote. So it's like, if you care, quote unquote, about, preventing children from being incarcerated, like, why wouldn't you then say, okay, well, when you come out of, or when these dads come out of prison, if that's where they are, wherever they are, why wouldn't we want to give them the best opportunity to be involved in the state that they live in? Trouble?
So my first thing is, I didn't even know who Tony Dungee was. Yeah. So he wasn't really that relevant to begin with. Right. Secondly, I think it's interesting to think that the father is the main issue in the upbringing of children, when, how does the saying go? It takes a village.
Yeah, that's what we say.
It's like, if you're going to point fault at how these children are being raised, and you have to look at the entire village. You have to look at the things that afflict this entire village. And, excuse me. Shit, there's something in my throat. But yeah, so you have to...
Racism in your throat, bro?
Yeah, bro. Like, this shit got me coughing.
Got a little white supremacy.
I'm choking on bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, and damn, I forgot the point I was trying to make. I got real focused on getting that out of my throat.
Well, I mean, like you said, I mean, Tony John, I mean, he's older...
I'm trying. I just want you to know I'm trying.
I'm proud of you. I recognize your growth. There's always like a 15-year-old boy somewhere ready to make a joke.
Wow, thank you. But like you said, I mean, and we saw this. I mean, we saw this with kind of like, and like you said, Tony Dungee, he's a former coach, but from this, he played for the Steelers. He was the first black coach to win a Super Bowl. So he has value. But like you said, and what is it? Because we also saw this basketball player who played for the Orlando Magic, right? Jonathan Isaac. Similarly, right? Kind of, he's a part of this, QAnon friendly Reawakening America tour where Eric Trump and the Pillow Guy. And
Pillow Guy. I forgot all about that nigga.
Hey, the Pillow
Guy.
So
right. But it's like this thing. And because you
weren't those
mentioned
supposed to be good pillows though? It was
it's
cute,
all,
right?
No, it's all a part of this white supremacist rhetoric that the world is off keel and unbalanced because of feminism.
Yes.
And women aren't being submissive.
Being woke and
right. We got to bring the family back.
And if we just had these strong men to get their women and children under control.
If we just had Jesus, if everybody would just believe in Jesus,
right?
And Jesus is the reason why I didn't stand for Black Lives Matter. And it's
for him,
Jesus.
for Jonathan Isaac to come up right on that stage, and I watched this interview with
He'd
him.
probably fight you if you said, Jesus is black. He probably
listen, and it's bro, if you're a 6'11" black man from the Bronx, it's you know what I mean? That to me is just wow. But when he got on stage and say, Christ called me to not get a vaccine, and Christ called me to not kneel with my
on your cell phone.
Right. You get me?
Hold on, Christ.
What carrier does Jesus got? Because I want to know. Because I got some questions.
Jesus, Beyonce, and Michelle Obama every day are why are y'all putting
why
me in
am
stuff?
I in this?
What do I have to do with this? Absolutely
nothing to do with your
when Christ calls you for things and it doesn't work out, does he call back?
Right.
No, but this is the problem with these programs, these faith-based initiative programs. And again, everybody knows how I feel about I hate these organizations.
Yes.
Come on.
They literally ingrain in you that somehow you are chosen and called by this higher being.
Right.
And they really take your everyday survival and the end of the world salvation and intertwine the two
a cult,
of them.
right?
Yeah.
It's even more dangerous than the cult because it's socially responsible. And acceptable to say Jesus called me or Jesus said I could do this.
Right.
And he's literally, especially if he's a Christian, he's in these organizations, he's literally thinking he's trying to save people's lives by doing this tour, and he's putting this pressure on him. And it's bro, that's not how it works.
No.
But in his mind, it is.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of
you're
minds,
taught
right?
that you're chosen. This is why you're here. It's 1 in 15,000 that make it, and all this type of stuff. And God appointed you for such a time and place as this, and then you go and save these lost black souls because and then it gets into people being. Amy, we'll get into her later, but it gets to this whole idea that black and brown people are savages and need to be saved by Christianity.
Children of a lesser God.
And it goes and it gets this whole cycle over and over.
No, I'm asking you, Miracle, because how do you, I guess okay, let's say, because I know, black Christians, you know what I'm saying, that their Christianity is the base of their faith and they do good things in the community. But I guess how do you then ignore, because here you have Jonathan Isaac, you have to ignore the extreme racism that we've seen from people like Eric Trump and the Pillow Guy, where they literally blamed, people in Philadelphia and people in Detroit and
shithole cities.
Right. You blame, you know what I'm saying? You attacked Obama and Michelle Obama with some of the most vile language. Here's Tony Dungee. You have a man literally saying we can't teach black history, period. How do you then, I just saying as a black person, how do
you're
you.
You're not black, you're Christian.
Woo!
Right? And so all of this other type of stuff is the devil working. It's the evilness and the devil.
Teaching about Martin Luther King is the devil.
It's
that devil, Dr. King. What does that mean? I don't get it.
Yes, it's a whole complete rewriting of history. Because your focus isn't on blackness. Your focus is on Jesus and the afterlife.
Right.
So the focus on blackness is considered almost an abomination because you're only supposed to be focusing on the holiness. And so people say, oh, that's the devil or that's the thorn in my flesh. When they talk about racism, oh, you got to pray. You just got to pray. You got to pray that away.
Pray to get away.
You'll pray
pray
as the Lord will open their eyes, but that's the distraction. And so a lot of people will be oh, that's just, the devil in people and the sin in people, but none of us are perfect, right? And so God will work on them. but you got to focus on saving souls. You move all this other type of stuff away. I left the church, so like I'm
yeah. No, that's kind of deep.
I looked up something that kind of coincides with what Miracle was saying, and it's a characteristic of white supremacy culture titled "One Right Way." Yeah, and here it says one right way shows up as the belief there is one right way to do things, and once people are introduced to the right way, they will see the light and adopt it. When a person or group does not adapt or change to fit the one right way, then those defining or upholding the one right way assume something is wrong with the other. Yeah. Those not changing and not with us. And the last one says, similar to a missionary who sees only value in their beliefs, but what is good rather than acknowledging value in the culture of the communities they are determined to convert to the right way of thinking and or the right way of living.
And it is fascinating. It's fascinating to see how, like, you know, how white supremacy works. It really, like, you know, just like you said, kind of creating this alternative reality, right? Mm-hmm. We just had, and I don't know if you have that clip up, where it was an interview, and a lot of folks have been coming at Nicole Hannah-Jones, who did the 1619 Project. And really, you know, it was a history that was centering the experiences of black people, right? And because she centered the experiences of the black people, like, white people went like mad. I mean, I've never seen like a nationwide effort to like ban a book. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like, white people started to write these laws like, you can't teach the 1619 Project, you can't have this in your schools. And so she had did this interview with a journalist named Christopher Wallace, or not that Christopher.
The only Chris, yeah, I know we always say the only Christopher we acknowledge is Wallace, but sometimes we got to put some context in there.
Chris Wallace, not the Christopher Wallace. You know what I'm saying?
Not Biggie Smalls.
So
right?
play a little bit of that clip, or play that clip, Farouk. I think it's not that long.
I completely agree with you.
I don't hear it in the headphones, so is that?
I don't have it.
No, I agree with that. I'm just not sure that I would say that if it weren't for blacks, there wouldn't be a democracy at all.
Well, we know how we got democracy. It was through a decades-long black resistance struggle called the Civil Rights Movement. That is a black rights struggle. So you may not like the framing, but what I can tell you is the Double V for Victory campaign was black people were fighting in an army. They were going overseas. They were dying to liberate other countries, and then coming home and being lynched for wearing their uniform. They were coming home and they could not vote. They were coming home and they could see German prisoners of war going into restaurants and being served where they could not be served.
I completely agree with all of that.
Right, but you want to treat that as a marginal to the American story. But you can't call yourself the greatest democracy and the greatest democratizing force in the country while violently and brutally suppressing democracy at home. And that's what...
I think that's a great note to end it on.
No, because you got to keep going, because he tries to argue her down.
Millions of American citizens.
Here's where I take some objection. You're talking about, if you say the country, that we were fighting for democracy overseas and we were not living it, walking the walk, talking the talk at home, I completely agree with you. But you specifically say the greatest generation brutally suppressing, many of this generation brutally suppressing democracy for millions of Americans. To me, and I think Tom Brokaw, when he originally wrote the book, The Greatest Generation, was talking about 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds who came out of the farm fields of the Midwest, who came out of ethnic neighborhoods in Brooklyn and South Philly and stormed the beaches of Normandy and fought to defeat the worst regime, I would argue, in world history. And to say that they were 20, 30-year-olds. The country was brutally suppressing blacks, but the greatest generation wasn't.
What do you think happened to fire hoses?
They were.
I mean, they weren't. You're telling me that a kid coming off a farm in Indiana or a kid who came from Brooklyn was suppressing
Indiana
black
had
people?
the largest population of the Klan in the United States. The Klan was resurged in...
No, you
don't understand. That's the problem, Chris.
You don't think 20-year-olds were...
I don't think many of them were, no.
I mean, I don't know evidence.
The Klan was made up of people.
Yes, and then this is the thing. The greatest generation, listen to this, are people born from 1901 to 1927. You think these months wasn't racist?
Weren't there race riots?
There was race riots in the 70s, in the 80s. Like what? Like you said, it's like this thing of like, no, not the 20-year. A 20-year-old born in 1920 coming from Indiana ain't racist. What are they talking about?
Racism is everywhere. Racism is the everybody disease. And I don't know. Do people not talk to like their parents and grandparents about like race and racism?
I mean, Miracle, we really, they had to have separate, they had separate units in the army. Like even the army in World War II.
The whole country was still segregated. Like
absolutely
segregated. Like
right?
you had whites only water fountains,
yes.
my nigga. Like washrooms were white people only.
Yes.
If you were even black entertainers
yes.
had to go into the back of hotels to get food, and you can't chat to me about these things when literally the fabric of the country, the fabric of the United States of America, the parchment it was wrote on indicated that black people were subhuman.
Yes.
So when you grow up with these greatest doctrines, these greatest generations, they believe that, hey, listen, and at that point you can't even fault them because all they've seen was whiteness and all they've seen was the supremacy of it. Not even to be funny, just like, okay, we are supreme, the manifest destiny, everything that's taught. You're taught that the whole country believes and bows down to your whim. So why would you believe anything? So the moment someone challenges that,
right,
you're gonna be, you're gonna object to it. Because you feel like your being has been challenged, like that episode of Atlanta. That's why the episode of Atlanta was so fucking dope.
But not only that, but it's like, nigga, we saw Eyes on the Prize. Like,
there's
video footage.
Yeah, like,
there's video footage of y'all hitting.
Like,
I mean, there's that
children
picture.
attended lynchings.
Right, it's smiling. Right,
smiling.
You saw the picture of Ruby Bridges, right? At
right.
6 years old, having to desegregate. These were white children that were. These are
children.
Young white parents. They tried to prevent us from being a part of this. Like the idea that like it was some, but it's like just like you said, Miracle. It's like it's some like ethereal thing that prevented black people, that oppressed black people, not actual people, right? It wasn't no 20 or 30-year-olds. Like, who's voting? Like, what are you talking about?
What did you call it? I don't want to take your word.
What did I call what?
Would white people believe in what of America?
The mythology.
Right.
And this is, to me, why there's this attack on critical race theory, right? Because you don't, and so here she is saying like, some white guy from Indiana. She's like, you mean the place where the Klan was birthed? You know what I'm saying? like you think a 20-year-old guy coming out of a cornfield, and how many black people was he interacting with? What was he thinking about black people? You know what I'm saying? How many black people were in this town? You think he's not going to be violently oppressive toward, if he sees a black person walk into some all-white restaurant and try to order some food, you think he's going to be like, let him eat. He served in the army with me. Please, get the hell. They would have that nigga hung up quick. We know it. Hung
up and strung up.
Come on.
I just noticed some more white supremacy in his statement, because he said, you think a kid from a farm field or a white kid from Brooklyn, and I feel like what he was trying to say is, you think these poor white kids have any power to actually oppress people?
Absolutely they did. You know what I'm saying?
Real shit.
I mean, because the power is in the system that upholds it. And it's like, were there white people in the 60s that, and when we talk about a lot of times the 60s, you're talking about the mid to late 60s, right? Were there white people that marched and struggled to help? Yes, but that was few and far between. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you try to claim those few white people that stood up and some that died as like, that's not the majority of what white people was doing. The majority of y'all was just like the majority of white people doing today, happy to get your white supremacist, goodies, you know what I'm saying? Like happy to get your stuff. And then it's like the people from the generation today, these white people that are ruling, these white people that are pushing back on CRT, these white people that are trying to deny just the mere existence and teach of black history. When was they born? What generation was they born? Are they part of the greatest generation? Tom Brokaw? You know what I'm saying? Like, what generation are they from? Well, if the generation was so great, why is the same system of white supremacist patriarchy exist today, right now? If you're so great, you can go beat Hitler, but you didn't want to deal with anything about this system now. I'm getting mad.
No, I mean,
it cracks me up because I was trying to get the man's name, I couldn't find it. We have a whole thing called states' rights just because we wanted to find ways to keep black people from having rights. We have like the GI Bill.
Yes.
They were like, if you allow black soldiers to go to school and have an education and buy homes, they'll forget their place. Right. And people, when we think about the Klan, again, it's very important. The Klan, a lot of these lynchings were teachers.
Yeah.
Civil rights organizers and soldiers.
Yes.
Because they felt that if they didn't attack these middle-class black people, these upper-class black people, that blacks were going to have this idea that they had the right to be treated as everybody else.
Absolutely.
So that's the places that were being targeted. I mean, the people that are being targeted.
Yeah.
The places that were being bombed were churches because schools were under the churches.
Absolutely.
And that's where civil rights organizers were meeting.
Right.
And we're talking about this greatest generation, and also taught us that there are ways to really put anti-blackness in the law and move on. And so now we're saying, look, we really don't want to keep living like this. We want to address our history so we don't repeat it. We're getting all this pushback, and now we have these critical race theories. Now we have people talking about, Loving versus Virginia shouldn't have been passed.
Right.
So interracial marriage really shouldn't be a thing.
100%.
We're now
and
watching.
That was like 2 weeks ago. This wasn't like 10 years ago. This just happened.
We're literally watching people come out and say, hey, I really don't like the fact that I have to share a bathroom with a black person. I don't like the fact that my neighbor is black. I don't like the fact that my teachers are black. And we let people say, oh, they're coming after trans people. They're coming after gay people. And now they're like, we don't want y'all black niggas next to us. So, and now we see, and now it's like a little bit too late because all these rules are codified.
Absolutely.
And now we're like, damn, they're really coming for us.
Right. I mean, you had, and of course, Tucker Carlson is somebody who obviously, he can be dismissed. He's a super racist, but he had on a Penn law professor. And I don't know if you have that clip ready, Farouk.
Amy stay Amy, and she has been at this for years.
I've never heard of her. I've never heard of Amy Wax. I don't know why. If she's been talking like this, why is she still at Penn Law? I mean, that's a question to me. Like, why would they harbor somebody that will? But again, Penn, remember, wasn't it Penn that had like the bones of
the bones
one
of
the move organizers
Africa,
and was using it in class like this? Like she didn't have a family that wanted to know where her bones were. You know what I mean?
As a reminder, critical race theory is a legal theory.
Yes.
Precisely because people like Amy dominate the legal field.
Wow. Can you play a little bit of what Amy said to Tucker Carlson?
Regretfully.
How is that different from vandalism? It just seems like people coming in and wrecking everything that was valuable. You
mean like that they did? Wait. You mean like they did at the Capitol?
or you mean like colonization? Like maybe how you like came into our countries and like took everything valuable and bounced and put it on the queen's head.
Couch, nigga.
I like these African Indian jewels. I think I'll take them and wear them forever, right? And never return them. Like, what are you talking about? I'm sorry. It's crazy.
I hate Tucker Carlson so much.
It's very reckless and destructive. It's very vindictive. It's very angry.
Yeah. Where does that anger come from, do you think?
I think there is just a tremendous amount of resentment and shame of non-Western peoples against Western peoples for Western peoples' outsized achievements and contributions.
I mean, if there was a way, pause that right there real quick. If there was a way you could say white supremacy without saying white supremacy, I mean, it cracks me up when people use those code words, right? Non-Western groups against white. We know you're talking about people of color and white people, right?
How long has America been around? 200 and plus years?
Yes. Those outsized slavery, Jim Crow. What contributions are these, America?
And this is the thing. Like, these so-called scholars think that like civilization just popped up in the States.
100%.
Like
100%.
when George Washington chopped down a cherry tree, boom, America. Great. You got MAGA, right?
But that's why you have to prevent the real history from being taught, right?
Absolutely.
Because if people start to look at the real history, they start to say like even if you say like, and as America, like apple pie or fried chicken or whatever, you realize that you ain't create that neither.
Right.
Like,
none of that is yours.
Like when you talk about these outsized achievements and contributions, well, tell me what they are. You know what I'm saying? And at every step of the way, there were black people helping you to contribute every single step of the way.
You still wouldn't have been taking baths.
You wouldn't have no.
But when I said the Moors right now, y'all said I was being mean.
But it's real though. Like you didn't have no electricity, you didn't have no street lights, you didn't have cleanliness, you didn't have medicine, you didn't have light.
The Moors should have looked and said, "Ooh,"
and said, "No,
the ghetto,
went back home.
the ghetto,
right here,
the ghetto."
Yeah, I mean, it's just she goes on to call
actually, leaving aside American blacks, who I think do feel that resentment and shame and envy. I mean, it's this unholy brew of sentiments. I was talking to Glenn Lowry about this.
She said y'all some haters.
An unholy. She used blacks and unholy brew of sentiments in the same sentence.
She said y'all niggas are just hating. Y'all just hating on our white shine.
Children of a lesser god, bro.
Y'all hating on our white shine. You know what I'm saying?
I can't listen to that shit no more.
Listen, are we done?
Well, right, because she went on to talk about Indian immigrants wanting to have anti-racism taught in the schools, and why you're over here using up the white man's good AC.
Hey Patel, stop taking all the engineering degrees.
But Amy has been on this for years.
Pradeep, you're too smart. Like you're too smart, Pradeep.
But she said their countries are shitholes. She actually says this. She actually calls India a shithole country.
She has literally said America would be better if there were less Asians in it.
Yeah, she did.
Has literally
I beg to differ.
Me too.
I'm gonna take a strong stance against
me
that.
too. Absolutely.
She has literally for years talked about how America needs to be a bastion of whiteness.
How does she still have a job?
Because she's tenured. And here's the thing. I try to tell people all the time. I was in law school, and one of her counterparts, I was at a different law school, was talking about how black people are inherently immoral and should not be in schools with other white people. So the Dear Abby attorney, the guy who funds that, this is what his core belief is.
Wow.
So all of the affirmative action cases, they fund that, and she's one of the people who support it. And she's the one who said, I've never seen a top ranking black student. Black students do not do well in law school. The same Scalia argument. So this is a predominant way of thinking in the legal community.
Wow.
And what the law schools do is they do a both sides argument. Well, like, your feelings are not facts, and if Amy's wrong, you have to find words to argue her down with your stats and your double-blind research studies, and that's why the legal field is the way it is. But Amy has been out here, and she has a proud, unabashed white supremacist. She believes that white people are superior than non-whites, and believes that to preserve the institution of academics and science, there needs to be less non-white people in it. Amy just came to work one day,
can I read
and she said there were too many coloreds at her job, and she lost it. And ever since then, she has been unabashedly arguing for the whiteification of America and the academic institution.
And what's wild is because then you'll embrace somebody like a Clarence Thomas. And you'll embrace him in a way that's he's so nice, he's so nice to us. Then he's not. You'll make him not black.
He's like Tony Dungee. Clarence Thomas is the best way to get over race is to not talk about race and move on from race. And so there are some people.
But Amy's talking about race, and Amy is.
But she's not. She's not doing it for a benefit of black and brown people. So therefore, she's not talking about race. She's talking about the American identity.
You had something you were going to read, Farouk?
She said that
Wait, this is an Amy statement?
Yeah.
But they also removed her from teaching first years, by the way.
Yeah.
She was so racist. They were like,
She says the Democratic Party demands equal outcomes despite clear group differences. It valorizes blacks. And she cited Enoch. She said Enoch Powell? Wow.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Hey,
but imagine that was
anybody that quotes Enoch Powell, Jesus.
Break that down. Who is that? Who's Enoch Powell?
Enoch Powell, he was unfortunately another member of the Crown who preached for like very strict race relations. Enoch Powell was an avowed white supremacist, much in the same vein as like Winston Churchill was.
Got you.
You know what I mean? And targeted a lot of ethnic groups in England and the Windrush generation.
Yeah.
And they kind of like cited, the more black people coming to the crown is the downfall of England, and basically the greatest nation and empire in the history of the world would have been better off without blacks.
Just would have died out, but
I mean,
but just like you said, I mean, you're an avowed white supremacist. I guess it is what it is. Well, speaking of avowed white supremacists, I mean, we do have, I always like to update. I always like to do a January 6th update.
Yeah, man, please. The ongoing
every show. Right? I always like to ask Miracle. I know the answer's the same, right? Every time. Will someday we get some type of miracles? Like, no, we're not.
It's wild because if you think of like America as a video game, right, and like the election is your main. It's like your main quest.
Yeah.
Like January 6th was the wildest side quest in the history.
It was the wildest.
They just took all these shit. It's like, you know what? We're going to go do this today.
But a lot of these, and I'm coming to you, Miracle. A lot of these people are snitching, right? What we found out, I guess, is, maybe in the far right community, snitching is not as it's not as looked down upon as black people look at it. Because
they're Antifa.
Oh, is that right? Well, I don't know. It says the leading Proud Boy member, he pled guilty. His name is Charles Donahue. He's gonna, snitch on everybody. The guy who was the, I guess, maybe black Arab guy. I don't know.
Sammy Davis Jr. Boing, boing, boing.
His name is Ali Alexander. He's supposedly cooperating with January 6th. And then this was probably the funniest where, an ex-cop, it was actually two ex-police officers that were charged with January 6th. One of them went to trial. And, what's wild about he was found guilty on all 6 counts, a former Virginia police officer. Let me see his name, Thomas Robinson. And what was funny was Jacob Fracker, a fellow police officer who Robinson called his son, testified on behalf of the prosecution. Your son took the deal, you know what I'm saying, and told on you. So, if all these people are cooperating, will this mean, like, Miracle, that there's a possibility that, it also came out that they said that, I guess they have Donald Trump Jr.'s text messages where he said, like,
he's going to jail.
Coup was part of the plan. Is
Donald Trump Jr. going to jail?
Donald Trump, listen, Ivanka's going to be like, take my little dumb brother. He's been embarrassing me for years. He's been the family embarrassing. Trump Sr., Father Trump, is not going to jail. His sons will go to jail. His right-hand men and women will go to jail. His followers will go to jail. Trump himself, nah. It's not going to happen. The Ali guy has said for years he had a direct connection with Trump. He was talking to Trump during January 6th, all type of stuff. He's not going to go to jail. Trump's going to be like, yeah, I did it, and it is what it is. Because I'm
desperately waiting for that to happen because that would be such an amazing moment in history.
If Donald Trump Jr. goes to jail?
No, if Trump just says, hey, listen, this is what I was going to do. Like what Miracle just said. That'll be so amazing to watch because it would just prove how unfuckwittable he is. Because how he just has everybody shook. It's scary.
Is Donald Trump Jr. like the Kendall Roy of this season of America?
Man.
But no,
you're going to jail.
Succession.
I talk to people who are I call them street life entrepreneurs, and they literally say that like Trump is kind of their idol because he does what he wants to do. He breaks whatever laws.
Yeah.
And he can't get touched.
Yeah,
Teflon T.
He really strategized at all these people. You find people who need you more than you need them.
Right.
You make them loyal to you, and they take he don't even have to ask anybody.
Yeah, they take the fall.
And you get stupid people too because his son, we wanted a coup, sir.
Yeah.
You just admit to insurrection and seditious acts.
Right. On your text message. Yeah.
And text messages, unprovoked.
Yeah.
His son's gonna go to jail for him. The other daughter, Tiffany, he don't even talk to her. She'll go to jail for him.
Yeah.
And he'll just be out here running elections, endorsing people, and cussing people out, talking about they didn't protect me when they could.
Yeah.
But you know, in some universe though, and I don't want to get all meta and everything, but isn't Trump like kind of indicative of the American dream, of American
100%.
philosophy, like American
100%.
ideology?
He is like
yeah.
He is Scarface.
Yeah, he's like yo.
100%.
Trump is synonymous with America,
Yes.
and that's what the
Like,
appeal is.
I mean, when you look at come on, you know, if you watch The Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Right,
It's
yeah.
like that
He got
guy.
caught, though.
Yeah, but I mean, he's looked at as like a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did this, he came from this, he has all these billions of dollars. I mean, you have like rappers taking pictures with this dude, the Wolf of Wall Street. He's out of prison now, but they're like so he's mythologized, like what he did, and he took on the system, and he had all this money, he had all his houses and a helicopter. So when you look at Trump, he hasn't been caught. He's like the real life wolf. You know what I'm saying? That becomes president.
But he doesn't do the violence and he doesn't do the drugs, right? So if we think about Scarface, Trump, he came from no.
He be doing a lot of drugs now. I've seen the pills on his desk.
But his father was a pimp. No, his
Yeah.
father was a pimp and his
Yeah.
father was a drug trafficker.
Yeah.
But he's showing people like you can it was he
Oh,
had
really?
he had an
For
opium den.
Oh,
opioid
wow.
den.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Grandpa Trump was
Frederick?
out here getting
Was that
it.
Frederick Trump?
He was out here getting it in addition to running with the Klan. But Trump is really showing people you don't have to you can just be a scammer.
Yeah.
And you don't got to shoot people. You don't
And
got
the
to sell
scammers
drugs.
love Trump.
Yeah.
You know, scammers do love Trump. Because
love
think
Trump.
about it. All the people, like a lot of people that we know who are in lifestyles is because they want to provide for themselves.
Yes.
And who wants to stand outside all day,
Yes.
get shot, get stabbed, get
Yes.
get robbed? You literally can just scam people and use the gift of gab.
Speaking of scamming, Miracle, there was a professor named Pamela Fergus.
You
That was a hell of a way
You
to
can just buy
hide it.
fax machines.
And Pam had a scam.
You can just
Scamming
buy
Pam.
fax machines, y'all.
Scamming Pam.
And Pam's scam was
Pam's scam was a plan.
yeah, and this is where you know you said like watch whiteness work.
Man.
So Pamela, called herself raising money in honor of Philando Castile.
Jesus Christ, bro.
It was Philando's kids, and every dollar you donated, and Philando Castile, for those that don't remember, was the young man that was killed in Minneapolis by the police. He said he had a gun, he had a license. He was shot down and killed by this officer
With his
anyway.
hands on the steering wheel.
Right, that officer was not found, guilty of anything, was not indicted. And the NRA didn't come to Philando's defense, even though he was a licensed gun owner. But this professor raised $200,000 to give, because Philando worked in the school lunch program to pay down the debt of school lunch children. The fact that school lunch children have debt is wild.
America, bro.
What in the
Because free
hell?
lunch is socialism. that's socialism.
Hey, you little 5-year-old, you're gonna have to wash these dishes. What is wrong with us? But so, I guess, she raised $200,000 and felt like, I did some work here. I built the website.
I need compensated.
I sent the emails out.
It's my sweat equity.
I put the link up. So she gave $80,000 to the kids. And she kept $120,000 to herself, and
that's more than your 10%.
Much more than your 10%, right? And right, because if she kept let's say she kept $20,000, we probably wouldn't even took notice. But she said every single cent, and then she got them dollars. She started looking at her account like, damn. She started thinking about all the stuff you can buy. Oh man, something just broke down. So what do y'all think? Shout out to Keith Ellison, the Minnesota Attorney General.
Yeah,
Keith Ellison.
alhamdulillah, man.
Yeah, our Muslim brother.
Yeah.
He said they reached a settlement, and she's the restitution. She's not gonna go to prison, which I want her to, of course, Miracle. But she's going to pay off all the lunch debts. So what do y'all think of Pam the scammer? Scamming Pam. What do y'all comments on Pam?
I mean,
it's tough out here.
Sorry, out here for Pam.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, bro. Like, this is that Trump doctrine just flooding down. I don't even have words. Like, it's just a shame because Philando Castile's case was so sad.
Yeah.
And violent. The fact that, he was murdered in front of his girlfriend and his daughter.
Right.
I don't know, was his wife? Girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend and his daughter, both hands on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
For complying. And that really threw that, like, Philando's death, and I hate to say it, martyrdom, but it really put it, like, if we comply, we're still murdered, so now what do we do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then to have a GoFundMe for him. What she said? You said she got $200K.
Yeah.
And only gave $80 for the cost.
Yeah.
Pocketed $120.
Yeah.
America.
Yep.
I mean,
hashtag America.
And two, like a college professor, right? Another college professor. So it's not like she didn't know what she was doing, or she was like some poor person or whatever. No, you're a professional person scamming. Never love scams.
Never love scamming. But it's crazy to think that like they still like they will always find a way to profit off of black culture and black bodies.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just
give an air horn to that,
air
brother.
horn to that, man.
Yeah. Absolutely. They're going to find a way, brother. So we are at there's mad more stuff we could talk about, but we've reached our end. Do you want to do our white, speaking of black men, maybe we can get this to Tony Dungee. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess,
did you want to do our white pages, brother? Did you want to play the little?
Oh, I took it off.
What? How? Why?
Oh, I didn't know.
No white pages?
Oh,
or did you want to sing it personally?
White pages, hum.
I like our white pages.
Our white pages is a 4 by Russell Simmons. Oh, that doesn't age well. That didn't age well. Jesus Christ. Well,
no white pages. Them damn light skinned dudes messing it up, fam. Another light skin. God damn it.
And the book was called Reach.
Yeah, it was. Niggas been doing that for weeks now.
Russ was reaching. Oh my God.
Reaching Russ.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
We'll see you next week, everybody.
Do we have a call to action? Leave light skin.
We actually
we have to fast from lightness. The church fasted from whiteness.
We should just leave. We should
fast
just
from
exit,
lightness.
man. Oh my God. All the light skinned people in the room need to leave.
Woo wee.
What's happening on Thursday, my good brother?
What is happening on Thursday?
On Doctors.
Is it this Thursday? I think it's next Thursday.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Ask a Black Doctor is next Thursday.
You see what she did there? She jumped a few time zones, came back, and just like,
I
forget where I am.
But hey, this Friday, we will be participating in the Prayer for Peace Walk.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Our brother Reverend Cornell Jones invited us to. It's going to start at the House of Manna at 9 a.m. Friday, which is in Homewood, and we're going to walk to, I think, Eastminster Church. And so we're going to participate in it as one hood. We'll have some, flyers from some of the programs. We're about to start our programming in person come May. You know what I'm saying?
Inshallah.
So, inshallah. Yeah,
Inshallah.
We'll have all that information for you. Yeah. Something else happened in Miracle? You're not coming to the Prayer for Peace Walk? Miracle said, decline.
No, okay. Since I don't do a lot of religious stuff.
Yes, I feel you.
We'll see. Are we praying while we're walking?
I don't know. I think it's just a solidarity walk. I mean, kind of like we were in solidarity with the young people. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm playing. Just solidarity with the community. You know what I'm saying? We're not a religious institution. We don't. We kind of are all different. You know what I mean? Me and Farouk are practicing Ramadan right now, as well as you're doing Ramadan as well. So
Trevor's observant, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, come on, man. We got our Ramadan on.
Yeah.
Whole table.
Okay.
Cussing up crazy.
First of all,
the Ramadan round table.
We're gonna make it work.
Yes.
We're gonna have our iftar celebration.
Oh, is that soon? Yeah.
We are.
Oh yeah, the
I'll
iftar, and then we're doing the kind of solidarity iftar. With our folks as well. So I don't have all the information on that, but
I wasn't invited to the public.
It wasn't. It wasn't in the public. But I would. I would say we will.
Y'all put raisins in y'all's meatballs.
Oh yeah, exactly. We're not having that. But if there are stuff happening that we did not note, go to One Hood Media on Facebook. Go to One Hood Media on Instagram. go to @OneHood on Twitter, and we will have that information, or tag us and stuff, so we can know.
If you see something, say something.
Put it out. Yeah. So you
can
share it.
I would say that please tag us. You don't have to DM us. All you have to do is tag OneHood.
Yeah.
We'll see the stuff and we'll share it out. Number one. On the power side, we had some medical emergencies with the team, so we're going to have our legislative forum for the 24th. It's going to air this Friday. So we still have some work happening. We thank you all for your love, support, and patience.
Absolutely.
We got things happening.
Yeah.
Never lose sight.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
never
saying?
lose sight. So last
Take the words
words,
out of my mouth.
Come on.
final words.
I really like your hoodie today. Black and
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jasiri and I have the same.
I'm
sure
I'm
you
glad I
do.
didn't wear mine.
I was
today.
hoping to God we didn't match. I was hoping. I was like, yo, we're gonna match today.
Well, with that being said, we will see you all next week for another episode of This Week in White Supremacy, and we're hoping light-skinned people get their shit together. All right.
Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. They suck the blood of the poor and to wipe their mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the Whitest House, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy